Imagine this scenario. For quite some time, you've been living in a private religious community and have been told by the leader of the commune that only you and those around you have the key to salvation. You've been told that being in this group will allow you to be part of a utopia in the making, and that everything you need to be happy is right where you are. However, the world that you see is far from perfect. Maybe you've been restricted from doing things that most people would consider normal, such as wearing earrings or nail polish, because the leader says that it's against God's plan. Maybe you've witnessed members be physically or sexually abused by other members, and nobody has tried to put a stop to it. You aren't sure if the life that your leader is preaching will ever become a reality. However, even after witnessing all of this, you still don't know if you want to leave. Why? To an outside observer, the going-ons of a cult seem bizarre and potentially even dangerous. However, those involved in them clearly don't see it that way, or at least they're willing to put up with the parts they find strange for some greater payoff. There has to be some reason that intelligent, logical people can be drawn into such illogical groups and kept there. So how are cults able to convince people to subscribe to their extreme beliefs, sometimes manipulating them to the point where they do the unthinkable? To be clear, it's not like creating a cult following is easy. For a cult to gain any traction, they need to have a figurehead with natural charisma, someone who people are automatically intrigued by and inclined to listen to. They also need to find the proper audience. For example, many cults try to recruit college students because these are often people in a new environment with few connections. The cult wants to prey off of those without close friends or family for a few reasons. First of all, the fewer outside observers there are, the fewer people there are to clue in the recruits to the fact that they might be entering a bad situation. Secondly, those who are alone make much easier targets for a group trying to create a community. Odds are, lonely people will be looking to make connections anyways, so all the cult has to do is sway them to pick their group. To do this, the cult will begin a practice called love bombing. Love bombing involves paying a lot of attention to the person they are trying to recruit and making them feel special. This helps to form a sense of community with this person and make them think that the cult is a group that they can rely on. When the person is struggling, the cult members will reassure them and tell them that they can find the solutions they're looking for within the cult. The end goal of this practice is for the recruit to be warmed up enough to the group to join. Once they've been reeled in, the cult starts up its more harmful tactics. They start to distance the recruit from the people they cared about outside of the cult and refocus them solely towards the group. They might take them away on retreats where they'll only be exposed to other members, or try to convince them to come live in a commune. By stripping the individual of their outside connections, they are able to make them dependent on the cult because they aren't as likely to want to leave their found family. They push recruits even further away from normal society by creating an us versus them mentality. Cult leaders will preach to their followers that only they are enlightened, and that the outside world is against them and simply does not understand. When they've given the members what is essentially a massive superiority complex, it becomes very hard to convince them that the cult might be wrong, because they'll just keep going back to that same logic. They just don't understand. At this point, the recruit has been fully indoctrinated. Even if the beliefs being spouted sound ridiculous, many members will go along with them because the cult has complete control over their life at this point. If they disagree, they could be punished or publicly humiliated. If they try to leave, they will be shunned and cut off from the only people that care about them. Dawn Smith, a former member of a cult called the Assembly, revealed in a TED Talk that she has never seen her grandparents since she left the Assembly, and that her relationship with her parents is complicated. When you have nowhere else to go, the idea of losing everything you know is a powerful motivator to stay. The threat of being shunned isn't the only way that cults rein in those who might otherwise leave. In some cults, such as the rather well-known Church of Scientology, the members are drained of their money through group expenses and given very few opportunities to earn any of it back, making it very difficult for a person to support themselves after they leave. In extreme cases, a cult's abusive practices can be so severe that those involved just can't see any feasible way of leaving. For example, the members of the People's Temple at Jonestown were subjected to physical punishments, drugging, sleep deprivation, and even suicide rehearsals. When the time came to actually go through with the suicides, many were so broken down that they went without a fight, becoming victims of an event that would claim more than 900 lives. The thing that makes cults so dangerous is that you don't have to be crazy or an idiot to be drawn into one. Cult leaders are expert manipulators who have the potential to convince anyone who might feel out of place in their own life that the cult will be able to help them. From there, the cult's advanced inoculation techniques bring the recruit to the point of no return incredibly quickly. By the time a member recognizes what is happening, they will have to contend with giving up everything if they want to leave. While some escape, many are not willing to make those sacrifices. Ultimately, they have left their lives in total control of someone else.